It's UBM Nation, motherfucker. What up, people? It is your boy, Unapologetic Black Man, back at you with another video. Your boy is finally out of YouTube jail, fresh out of YouTube jail. You know, your boy has been suspended for like 7 days because YouTube didn't like my George Floyd video. But today we're gonna talk about Pulp Fiction because, you know, I'm a big Quentin Tarantino fan. I love all of Quentin Tarantino movies, probably except Inglourious Basterds, but that'll be another video. But I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. But today we are gonna talk about whether or not was Pulp Fiction overrated. Is it Quentin Tarantino's best movie? And that is going to be the topic of the day. Yeah, let's talk about the synopsis of Pulp Fiction. This video will contain spoilers, so if you have not seen Pulp Fiction, I don't know what to tell you. You should have seen this movie by now. It's a classic. But if you have not seen Pulp Fiction, please click off the goddamn video, because it's going to contain spoilers, and I don't want nobody in the comment section talking about, oh, why did you spoil the movie? First of all, the movie's been out for like 20 years. It's been out for decades. You should have seen the movie by now. So anywho, so yeah, pretty much to give the synopsis of the movie is done in a non-chronological order. You got 7 chapters that's in the movie. You got the first chapter that's in the diner, which is also the ending of the movie too, because like I said, the movie is done in a non-chronological order. You got the first chapter that's dealing with Tim Root's character and his girlfriend. They're like talking at like some diner. Some shit happens. They try to rob the diner, which leads to Samuel Jackson and John Travolta's character trying to prevent it. Fast forwarded to the second chapter, you have Samuel Jackson's character and John Travolta. They go to this apartment to retrieve a briefcase from these 4 guys at the apartment. One is eating a hamburger, and pretty much these guys, they double-crossed Mr. Wallace, which led to Samuel Jackson shooting one of them, and he gave his little iconic speeches of all time, you know, English motherfucker, do you speak it? You know, giving the Bible speeches for, you know, taking out the other guy. And then the third chapter leads to John Travolta taking Uma Thurman's character, Mrs. Wallace, which looks like it's a date, takes her on a date, comes to her place, she almost overdosed. Luckily, she survives, which fast forwards to Bruce Willis' character, Dutch, and, you know, they showed a little introduction of how his father gave him the gold watch, and he had the gold watch, you know, all his life because his father gave it to him when he was a kid. Fast forward to him as an adult, you know, he's a boxer fighting at a prize fight that's orchestrated by Mr. Wallace. He wins against a rigged fight, which he was supposed to lose, but that upset Mr. Wallace, which put a target on his back. And fast forward to his girlfriend leaving the gold watch at his apartment, which he was pissed about that, which led to him going back to the apartment or the apartment that they left the gold watch. He had to go and get the gold watch back, which led to him killing John Travolta's character, because John Travolta's character was sent out to kill Bruce Willis' character, because like I said, John Travolta's character was a hitman for Mr. Wallace, and he was set out there to kill him. Bruce Willis got the upper hand, shot his motherfucking ass in the bathroom. Bruce Willis left with the gold watch, and while he is driving, you know, back to go pick up his girlfriend, he sees Mr. Wallace in the streets, run his ass over. They start fighting. Leads back to like some damn shite. Like they basically fought all the way back to the shop. They get captured by these racist ass white guys. They get chained up. Bruce Willis, you know, he breaks from the chains. Ving Rhames' character gets sodomized in the movie, and I'm gonna get to that just a second. Gets sodomized by 2 racist white guys, which led to Bruce Willis saving him. Mr. Wallace tells him like, yo, you need to get out of town, and the movie ends with Bruce Willis and his girlfriend escaping on a motorcycle. But like I said, the movie is told in a non-chronological order, even though the real ending, you know, even though at the end of the movie, I'm sorry, not the real ending, even though at the end of the movie, even though the movie ends with Samuel Jackson preventing Tim Root's character and his girlfriend from robbing the diner, even though the movie ends with Samuel Jackson, you know, preventing a robbery at the diner, and, you know, of course, Samuel Jackson's character, he left the life of crime because throughout the whole movie he was like a hitman working for Mr. Wallace, but, you know, he didn't want to continue that lifestyle anymore. He wanted to, you know, follow God. He wanted to follow, you know, the path of following God, following Jesus, you know what I mean. And he left that lifestyle, even though the movie ended it with that. But like I said, the movie is told in a non-chronological order, so the actual real ending, Bruce Willis and his girlfriend escape. So how do I feel about the movie after so many years of seeing it? Like, when I saw this movie as a kid, I was like blown away, like, yo, this is the greatest movie. But like, fast forward, years later as an adult, 22 years old. So rewatch Pulp Fiction again for like the second and third time. And like I said, it's a great movie. Like I said, it's a classic movie. But I do not think this is Quentin Tarantino's best movie. And I'm probably going to get crucified in this video. Because you have a lot of people, and I ain't gonna say everybody, but majority of people who would swear up and down that Pulp Fiction is like Quentin Tarantino's best movie and all this shit. Like, don't get me wrong, Pulp Fiction is a great movie, it's a classic, but in my opinion, I do not think it is Quentin Tarantino's best movie. And here's my little critique with Pulp Fiction. The real reason why I don't think it is his best movie, and I don't think this movie has the same effect that it had the first time. In my opinion, I feel like certain scenes did not need to be in the fucking movie. Like, for example, Ving Rhames' character being sodomized by two white dudes. I don't know what the hell Quentin Tarantino thought in his rabbit mind that this was a good idea to have a black guy in the movie get sodomized. Like, I don't know if Quentin Tarantino I don't know if his whole intentions was to be edgy. I'm pretty sure he was trying to be edgy. He was trying to be shock value. He was trying to shock people. He was trying to be super shocky and shock people. But my thing is, that scene did not need to be there. I don't know why he thought this was a good idea to have a scene where Ving Rhames' character, aka Marcellus Wallace or whatever his name, get raped by two white dudes in the movie, to where Bruce Willis had to come and save him. Like, who thought this was a good idea to put this scene in the movie? And Ving Rhames, like my brother Ving Rhames, like, I respect Ving Rhames. Like, Ving Rhames, you're a legendary actor. If you watch this video, you're a legendary actor. I respect what you do for the culture. But my thing is, as a man, bro, what made you thought this was a good idea to volunteer doing this crap? And it's not just that. That's not the only scene. But there's another scene, right? Because you remember at the beginning of the scene where Samuel Jackson, John Travolta, they go to the apartment, they retrieve the briefcase, and they get back at the dudes that double cross Mr. Wallace. Because remember, Samuel Jackson's character and John Travolta's character, they both work for Mr. Wallace. They're like a hitman working for Mr. Wallace, and they basically killed one white guy. The other white guy came out of nowhere and tried to shoot them. And you remember that classic divine intervention scene where God came down and stopped the bullets? Like, that scene is classical. And then they just took Marvin, like they kidnapped Marvin and they took him in the back of the car. Now, while they was going to Quentin Tarantino's house, because I forgot the character that Quentin Tarantino played in the movie, because he guest starred in the movie. But like, while they was going over to the house or whatever, John Travolta accidentally shoots Marvin in the face, which led to him bleeding in the car. And they had to go get the car washed and cleaned because it had a bunch of blood stains in there. And of course, Quentin Tarantino was throwing a fissy fit. He said the famous line, "the dead inward storage." I'm not talking about the one with the word nigga. I'm talking about the one with the ER. He was like, "There's a dead inward storage in my car," or some crap he said. Y'all know, y'all remember that scene, the dead inward storage. And he said it like multiple times in front of Sam Jackson. Like, my thing is, I wasn't really tripping about the scene. I know a lot of people in the past, when Quentin Tarantino would have the N-word thrown multiple times in his movies, a lot of people would throw a fissy fit about it, which I'm not saying that they can't be mad about it, because it's like, if you got a white director that's going around pushing the N-word, I could see why people would be mad about it. Me, it doesn't kind of faze me, but at the same time, it's like, my guy, why did you put this scene in the movie? Like, I get it, you're trying to be super edgy, you're trying to be artsy, you're trying to shock people, like, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna shock people with the N-word, I'm gonna piss people off. But it's just like, why you put that scene in the damn movie, and I just never understand that. And like I said, man, and then another thing that kind of gets me about Pulp Fiction is I feel like, not only did I feel like certain scenes should have been cut out or could have been in the cutting room, I feel like the movie was kind of dragging at some points. Like, when I watched it the first time, I didn't notice it. I didn't notice certain parts of the movie kind of drag. But rewatching again, I feel like some scenes kind of dragged a little. And I know Quentin Tarantino with his movies, you know, he tends to make, you know, his movies longer. They're like dialogue driven heaven, and that's what we come to love and respect about Quentin Tarantino, writing the dialogue of these characters. And you know, like, he's very good at creating dialogue in his movies. But I felt like with Pulp Fiction, some of the scenes could have been cut out. You know, I felt like certain scenes kind of dragged a bit. The movie was kind of long, you know, and you can kind of use that argument, well, that Hateful Eight was long. But the difference between the Hateful Eight, even though that movie was long as hell, but I liked almost every scene of the Hateful Eight. Like, I didn't even notice the runtime of it. Like, I feel like everything was perfectly in line, even though the movie was 3 hours long. But them hours alone, they ran so quick. It's like you don't even notice it. And it's like, you know, when you enjoy the movie so much and, you know, you're so into the story, and you're not even going to notice the runtime. But I just feel like with Pulp Fiction, I just feel like some scenes could have been trimmed down, could have been cut down. And had Samuel Jackson, had he not been the star of the movie, because in my opinion, I feel like Samuel Jackson stole the whole movie. Like, don't get me wrong, John Travolta, he did a good job, you know, playing his character, you know, for the role that he was given. Bruce Willis, he did a good job. Ving Rhames, he did somewhat of a good job, even though I didn't agree with him, you know, with his character being sodomized. You know, Uma Thurman, she did a great job. But in my opinion, the guy that stole the movie was Samuel Jackson. And if Samuel Jackson wasn't in this movie, I feel like this movie wouldn't have been a classic. I'm pretty sure it would have been a good movie because, you know, it's Quentin Tarantino. But I feel like by Quentin Tarantino casting Samuel Jackson in this movie, it just made the movie 100%, 10 times better. It made it as iconic as it is now. But overall, I mean, I thought the movie was great, but I don't think it's Quentin Tarantino's best movie. I think Quentin Tarantino has way better movies than Pulp Fiction. I think Reservoir Dogs is a little bit better. Movies like Jackie Brown, you know, Jackie Brown doesn't get his props. I feel like that movie is very underrated. The movie with Pam Grier in there, that movie was underrated. Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 with Uma Thurman, that movie is better than Pulp Fiction. Django Unchained, The Hateful Eight, one of my favorite movies of all time, The Hateful Eight. The Hateful Eight is probably one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. That movie's better than Pulp Fiction. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, even though I didn't like that movie the first time, you know, the first go around, I rewatched it again. I started to like that movie more and more every time I rewatched it. That movie's better than Pulp Fiction. You know, I like almost every Quentin Tarantino movie except Inglourious Basterds, because I tried to get into Inglourious Basterds. That movie was extremely overrated. Like, I tried to love the movie. I tried to give it props. I don't understand the appealing of the movie. I thought that movie was overrated. But despite of Inglourious Basterds, I like almost every Quentin Tarantino movie. Like I said, I'm a big fan of his movies, man. Like, easily a big fan. But, you know, like I said, man, Pulp Fiction is a great movie. But like I said, I do not think it's his best movie. And I feel like that movie does not have the same effect that it had the first time. And the thing about Quentin Tarantino's movies, I've watched all of his movies like multiple times. And even with those movies, even if I rewatch them again, they still have the same effect like they had the first time. But like I said, it's a great movie, but I don't think it's Quentin Tarantino's best movie, and I don't think it's top 10. If I have to say Pulp Fiction, I'll probably put Pulp Fiction probably in my top 15, top 20 best films of all time, but it's definitely not top 10. Over the years of watching movies, I feel like, you know, there are other movies that are better than Pulp Fiction, like movies like The Departed, movies like No Country for Old Men, movies like Fargo, movies like Tenet, you know, the Christopher Nolan movie, even though I'm not a big Christopher Nolan fan. Movies like Judas and the Black Messiah is better than Pulp Fiction. Movies like Midsommar and Hereditary. It's just so many other movies. Enter the Void, the movie Kids. It's just so many movies that I've seen over the years, TV shows. I feel like they surpass Pulp Fiction. But that's my little video today. Like I said, Quentin Tarantino is a dope director. You know, like I said, I like all his movies. I like Pulp Fiction. But that's just it for my commentary. Y'all have a good one. Peace. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Pulp Fiction. Do you think it's his best movie? Do you think it's overrated? What is your favorite Quentin Tarantino fan? Put down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Also, subscribe my backup YouTube channel. I have a backup YouTube channel called UBM Nation Part 2. So if YouTube was to take this account down, you can go subscribe to my backup. So anywho, this is your boy, signing out. Peace. And we're gone. Deuces.